He'll start the return inside his 5. Couldn't find room for the big play. He'll be stopped after a short return. His coverage unit right on top of it. Here's Reed to throw. Got a man. It's Riley. And he's got enough for the first down. They'll mark it at the 34. The Aggies right after the huge play through the air back to the line. Gonna run it. It's Owens. Turning it on. They'll get it to the 48. No need to measure. It's a first down.
And, David, we know when you're playing on the road how important it is to try and steal momentum early and quiet the crowd. You gash the defense with a run like that to pick up a big first down, that'll do it. And that's really a tone setter, I think, for this offense. And you're sending a direct message to the opponent. We are going to be physical, and we're going to try to run this thing down your throat.
He's loose on the right. Inside the... and he'll race it to the house. Touchdown, Texas A&M. Setting up for the extra point and the top. And the extra point was good. Quick strike offense on that 3-play scoring drive. And they closed the deal with a scintillating 52-yard jaunt to the house. On the return, it's Hale. Tackled and brought down at the 16-yard line after the return. To the back. Got some green grass. It's a seam wide open. No, he got loose. You want to talk about changing field position. The huge play takes it down to the 37.
Every time he touches the ball, you can feel the excitement from this home crowd because Palmer, he can go the distance with that game-breaking speed.
You're right, David. He's a special talent. I'll tell you, these fans, they come here to see this guy play because he has game-breaking speed. Stuff you can't coach. You saw it on that.
He's loose on the left. And he's run out of bounds just short of the goal line. They keep him out of the end zone for the moment.
Oh, man, what a run. He wanted to get it in the house, but nice explosive play in the run game to get all the way down to the 1, Palmer.
Great effort by him. I'd expect this offense now to try to go fast, punch this thing in using tempo.
They're changing things up, trying to get everyone set. This is a designed run. And he'll finish the run in the end zone. Touchdown, Mustangs! Lining up to tack one more onto that lead. And the extra point is true, and they're on top by 7. Quick strike offense on that 3-play scoring drive. And they capped it off with a 1-yard plunge. That one bounds through the end zone, and it'll be a touchback. Texas A&M has it back, and we say howdy to the Aggie offense again. This feels like one of those games you might have to answer every score, already down 14-7. Going long. Makes the catch on the left. A huge play, and they get it all the way to the 45-yard line. Got it done in the passing game on the last play, and let's see what they do on first down. Looking for a crease. It's Owens. They didn't get a push at all on that one. It'll be no gain on the play. When you have a conference as deep and balanced as this Big 12 is, it's important to get off to a quick start in conference play.
Yeah, you're going to be challenged each and every week here in the Big 12 Conference. Since they've expanded, the quality of this conference has gotten so much better. So, David, big challenge here to make sure
intercepted. Big play stops the drive. And they capitalize not only on the pick, but on the great return to improve this field position.
And that's why as quarterbacks you cannot telegraph the pass. You cannot stare down your receivers because these defenders, they're watching it. And that defender knew exactly where the QB was going with that football, and that's why he picked it off.
The Mustangs have the ball back and ready to go to work. The early scripts have worked trying to add to this 14-7 lead. Moving to his left. Bought a little time, lets it go. Working that left side now. He's finally stopped, and not before he takes it into the red zone. They'll mark it at the 18. The Mustangs are in the red zone. Quarterback feeling the pressure, and down he goes at the 22.
The defense was dialed in. They knew exactly what they were doing. They weren't fooled by it. They weren't fooled by the read game at all. Played disciplined, kept eyes on the quarterback, strung that along towards the sideline, and made the big tackle.
And the Mustangs with a long way to go after the loss on the last play. Making the adjustment on the play. Dropping back, it's Jennings. Oh, pressure's coming. Good job to avoid the negative play and just get rid of that thing. Let's see what they've dialed up on 3rd and long from the 22. Quarterback will keep it. Breaks into the open. Got some room, entered the goal line. Touchdown Mustangs. And they take it in for 6 more points.
Well, this offense is top 10 in the country in points per game because they've got a lot of speed and they've got home run hitters. They score fast. They don't need 10 plays to go down the field. You saw it right there. They've recruited well. They've got playmakers. They're going to be a problem for defenses all year long.
And he takes this from inside the 5. He'll be stopped short of the 20-yard line on the return. They'll mark him at the 19. The Texas A&M offense is back on the field. That last drive was promising for a while, but you just can't mess it up at the end with the pick, Jesse.
No, you've got to be able to finish drives, especially in this game if you're going to win. And, David, they've got to be able to eliminate the mental mistakes.
Yeah, and I don't think you get conservative or play it safe. You can trust your guy. I think you put the ball right back in his hands and let him do his thing.
A lot of ground to cover, and they need a chunk here on 2nd down. Reed. He'll try to do it himself.
It's just so nice to have a QB under center nowadays in football. You can trust these guys. You put so much on their plate, and you tell them, go get positive yards when it's there. And a lot of these guys are such great athletes, they do it with ease.
They'll try to move the chains on 3rd and short from the 27. Plows his way ahead. Now they'll really try to get this drive going. Good execution on third down as they have it 1st and 10 at the 31.
And that's a good sign for this offense. A good third down conversion, running the football. Obviously, last possession was not what you want. Like the interception, the turnover, good to get back on the field, get that first down. Now see how much more they'll be aggressive and maybe want to throw the football and put that mistake behind them.
And the Aggies are rolling down the field. Looking for room. It's Owens.
Really good surge that time by the offensive line. You saw all those bodies by the defense being pushed backwards. That opened up the crease for the ball carrier. He's able to get a really nice gain there, setting up 2nd and inches.
The Aggies have their whole playbook open here on 2nd and inches. Running to the left. Oh, he's got some space. He's at the 10. And he eluded the defense, and he'll take it all the way. Touchdown, Texas A&M.
Huge play. It's so nice to have guys that can create these explosive plays like this. You hand it to him, he can do the rest. Look at the speed. Look at the elusiveness. Get into the end zone. Nice run.
From inside his own 15, let's see how far he can get. They tried to get the wall set up for him, not quite enough for the huge play, but a good job to give his offense some breathing room. The first snap of this drive comes from the 32. They'll move the wide receiver. The defense wouldn't let him loose, and even though it's a completion, they lost yardage.
And that's just an example of the defense having a better play call than you have on offense. I like the creativity offensively, but how about the defense having their cornerback in position to make the play?
They have set the tone in this one already inside a minute to play in a wild first quarter. And the ball is out. Who's going to get it? Oh, and he gets it back, so you can file that one under. Could have been worse.
You know, quarterbacks practice ball security as well throughout the week, and he has to do a better job of keeping 2 hands on the ball. He knows this defense is trying to rip it out. They're trying to get a hat on the football. He's lucky that he was able to recover his own fumble there.
Third down conversion's always a huge stat, and they've got a 3rd and long from the 27. Back to pass, it's Jennings. That pass is well off target. He got hit as he was trying to throw, and they can't convert on 3rd down.
And that's the play the defense finally needed, man. They were getting gashed early. First 2 drives, they gave up 2 touchdowns. They knew they had to be able to get off the field. Great job creating the incompletion there on 3rd down, now setting up 4th.
The Mustangs will call on their punt team. Doesn't say much for your drive when you're looking forward to the punt. Gonna field this one in tight quarters. Working his way on the return up to the 40-yard line before he stopped. They'll start this drive and snap it from the 40. Going with the ground game left. He'll be brought down quickly after a very short game. That's the end of the period, and SMU has the lead. As we take a look at the stats, both teams putting up numbers. These defenses were reeling in the first quarter. See if they can get their sea legs in the second. Looks as if he's going to run it. Knocked down in the backfield, 2 yards behind the line. Third and long coming up.
That's why it's so important for this defense to win first and second down. You set up third and longs like that, you can show your exotic looks, you can get the pass rush going, everybody on the back end expecting throw, and that's how you force incompletions and force fourth downs.
Guys, look at this. You're surprised they're going to gamble and go for it here on fourth down. Marcel Reed to throw for it on fourth. Complete to the left. Knocked down, but he's got enough to move the chains and convert that fourth down. Texas A&M back to work with another first down. Quick give. It's Owens. Hit and stopped right there. Not much on that pickup. When you reach this point in the season, these types of games, top 25 matchups, really determine whether you're going to be a contender.
Yeah, and really show what you're going to be the rest of the season. How are you going to finish strong throughout the season, or the first part of the season, now getting to the middle of the season, Palmer, getting a chance to show what you're about so you can finish strong.
It's a resume builder, no doubt about it. And really, there's been so much anticipation building up to this top 25 matchup. So which team can control their emotions, I think, goes a long way in who wins this one.
And the Aggies kept this drive moving on the ground, now back to work. And they get to him behind the line. It'll be a loss of 2.
When the offense gets in those multiple tight end looks, you kind of have a good understanding of what's coming. You don't know where the ball's going necessarily, but they'll put those big old bodies in there to block, to move people, to put more mass on the field, especially once you get in this red area where you have to be able to run the football effectively. Those passing windows tend to shrink a lot.
Reed. Rolling to the right, trying to make something happen. Gets a hand in there.
Good play call offensively, and that's the right place to go with the football through the quarterback, but just a better job by the defender knocking that ball down.
This will be the 8th play of the drive, but a great opportunity for the defense to get off the field. From the gun on third down, Reed. Fires to the wideout. Looking for the goal line. He'll be stopped just short of the end zone, but they'll have it first and goal.
And the defense has to be kicking themselves for allowing a first down there. You're just maybe going to give them a few yards and let them set up for a field goal. Instead, you let them move the chains, and now they're knocking on your door first and goal.
Nothing doing, and he was lucky to get back to the line of scrimmage at second and goal.
It's hard to run on a defense that comes off the ball like that and runs to the football like that. Good luck. No holes anywhere.
A little wrinkle here as they go to the Wildcat and use the extra blocker. On the direct snap, it's Edwards. Defense played the Wildcat very well on that one, stopping them for a short gain.
And down here near the goal line, you've got to be physical. And this guy's proven it today, Palmer. They've given it to him. He's put it in the end zone twice already. I'm going to keep featuring him.
So you know the defense is going to be king too, right? Because he's hurting them a little bit in this game already. They're going to be finding a way to try to get some...
And he breaks the play. Touchdown, Aggies. All tied up after that one. Possible shootout coming.
The offense does its job, and now the pressure switches back to the other offense. Points at a premium.
Looking for the tie with the extra point. The kick is good, but the penalty flag indicates we've got a roughing the kicker call coming. And the penalty accepted, and they'll move him back. On the move from inside his 5. Makes a move. He's on the loose. And there he goes. They won't get him. It's a touchdown. Boy, nothing electric electrifies the stadium, quite like a return for a touchdown.
It's always so exciting because you don't see them very often. You got to go so many yards, 80, 90 yards at a time. What a great job by the returners, showing the speed, providing the electricity. There's a reason they're all jacked up, and it's because of that awesome kickoff return.
On the run from inside his own 5. And they'll bring him down to get the offense started on the next drive. So here comes the Texas A&M offense back onto the field. He stuck the last drive in the end zone. They'll try to follow suit here. Here's Reed to throw. They're all over it. And they're not on the same page there.
Yeah, I don't know if the quarterback got confused on first down. He might have thought the defense was going to be in man coverage that time, but they were in zone. They fooled him and just didn't seem like he had his eyes in the right place, was forcing that ball to his intended target. The window way too small. The guy
lets it fly. And it goes through his hands. Oh, he had an explosive play right there for the taking, but couldn't reel it in. Make up the game plan and not a lot on the play sheet for this. 3rd and long from inside their own 20. Looking to throw, it's Reed. Still looking. Fires downfield. Makes a connection. Just what the doctor ordered to get away from the shadow of that goalpost and pick up a first down at the 23.
And I think one of the secret sauces from a year ago for A&M was Craver and Concepcion. They were the best 1-2 punch in college football as far as playmaking receivers. Guys that could catch it short and take it long. Now you bring in Horton, who comes over from Alabama. This receiving core now, can they continue to grow? Can the passing game get better, Palmer, and take that next step?
Well, the good news is you still got Marcel Reed throwing the football, right? A guy with tons of experience and a guy who's made a lot of big plays throughout his career. So you bring in Horton, who comes over for Alabama. Big physical guy who can make plays down the field. Craver can take a hitch route 80 yards and score. Still a really good 1-2 punch of this Aggies offense, especially their passing attack. Still going to be tough to stop.
3rd and long, a lot of ground to cover. Reed. Looking left. Got his man downfield. He's brought down, but there's a flag on the play. Let's see if it stands. They'll decline the penalty here, and the result of the play stands. 3 yards, first down for the offense after that penalty. Down to 2 minutes to play. We'll take the timeout. They'll talk it over, a chance to tie or even take the lead before the break. A&M comes back out with another first down. Using his legs, it's Edwards. Oh, it's out! Defense covering it up and not letting the offense get it back. It's a turnover.
Oh, and it's a hit like that that will absolutely light up the sideline, light up the stadium, change the momentum, and help you win a football game, because that hit is what caused that fumble.
Looking to pass, it's Jennings. Quickly out to the tight end. Across the 25, he's got room. Run out of bounds at about the 13-yard line, and that's where this offense will go back to work.
And I absolutely love that play call, man. You got good field position right now. Take advantage of it. They're aggressive on the first play. Make a big play. This offense now set up in perfect position to get some points to capitalize on their great field position.
Well, the defense blitzed on that last run, but it was the big fella on the inside that made the stop and made the play. Great job flying out of his stance, locating where the football was, and getting to the ball carrier. Really good job at the point of attack.
Knocked down in the backfield, 2 yards behind the line.
And how about that young man getting in the backfield again? He's really got his fingerprints all over this game so far to start it, man. We're still in the first half, and he's got a sack. He's got a tackle for a loss. These are the kind of plays that really help your defense push these offenses behind the sticks.
Keeps it on the ground. Can't get him to the ground. Tough hard-nosed running and equally tough tackling, and it'll bring up a 4th and 2. And here they come going for the first down on 4th and 2. Complete out of the backfield, looking for the sticks. Touchdown, SMU! Nice catch and good work afterwards to get it into the end zone.
And how big is that for this offense? Put a nice drive together, get the touchdown, add to this lead already. Everything right now, Palmer, going their way.
Yeah, that was as good a 2-minute type situation as you could have offensively. And, David, they've got so many weapons on this offense. They practice these situations all the time, and they put it to work here at the end of the first half.
Here we go. They'll try to get something on the board here in the final minute of the first half. Throwing Reed. Here comes the heat. Makes the grab at the 25, and there's room. And that's where he'll go down. An explosive play moves the sticks. Barely time to catch our breath after that one, and they've got it 1st and 10, threatening just outside the red zone. Back to throw, it's Reed. Now moving to his right, looking for anyone that's open.
And this is the hard part about being on defense and choosing whether to be conservative or bring the blitz. They bring the blitz, he sees it, and that's what he does really well. Sees it and immediately makes a decision, gets to some green grass, and gets a positive gain for this offense.
Wide open downfield. Can't quite cross the plane to get the 6, but they'll have the first down. The Mustangs call a timeout. It'll be their first. They'll have 2 left to work with before the half. They'll run it on 1st and goal. Touchdown, Aggies! And they add 6 more to the board with that trip to the house. His 3rd touchdown of the game and 12th of the season.
The textbook how you end a first half. You're trailing, you need to put a drive together. Great job using all of the clock, getting the TD, and you want to talk about creating some momentum going into the half and knowing I get the football, so everything trending in the right direction.
Here he comes from inside his own 5. Really disciplined job by the coverage unit to get down there and make the stop at the 19. So they come to the line, and the Wildcat going to give them a different look. Motion from the back. Wants to pass it. We've got a timeout in the waning seconds of the half. Maybe a chance to get off a couple more plays. We thought we'd see a little Wildcat formation in this spot, and here it is. Snap to the back. Breaks the tackle. Nice pickup on that one. Makes up for some of the lost yardage, but they are still facing a 3rd down here late in the half. As we close in on halftime, a timeout is taken here. One more play before the teams head to the locker rooms. To the air, it's Jennings. Under pressure. The pass is incomplete, and 1 second is left.
And that's a play on 3rd down. This offense just has to do a better job protecting their quarterback. Give them a split second more time to complete that throw, but they couldn't do it there.
And they'll keep it away from the return man as the punt goes out of bounds. That's going to wrap up the first half here, and now we join Kevin with the halftime update.
Guys, it is my pleasure to welcome everyone into the Week 7 edition of the EA Sports College Football Update Show. We begin our coverage with Alabama taking on the number 11 team, the Tennessee Volunteers. And it's the Crimson Tide Getting a banner day from their stars on the road. To pick up victories away from home, that's the mark of a focused team. And it moves their mark to 6-1 as they continue to play awfully well here in the season's first half. Here now, some other games you may have interest in, and social media has some sharp opinions about the state of things right now.
He'll pull it down and run. Out of bounds at the 22, and just like that, they're out of trouble.
Well, for this defense now, being good against the pass is not just going to be in the back end covering people. It's going to be trying to contain this guy at the quarterback position. He is lethal, especially when things go off script. We saw it on that one. First down, they dial up the pass play. You're not able to get him on the ground, and now they've gotten another first down.
Coming into this game, man, the focal point was on the running back, right? We've got to stop the running back. Talking to these coaches, they've got to be physical. One guy, two guy, three guys have to get there. Man, they've done an unbelievable job being physical, getting him on the ground, and really shutting a great player down so far this game.
He'll move it up to the 37-yard line, and it'll be a first down.
And finally, we see a nice gain. That's his best run of the game. And this offense works best when he is going. And then you can throw the passing game and the play action, and there's more balance. So maybe that's a sight of things to come. Maybe they can get this thing going and get back in this football game.
You got to love the physicality up front by the defense there, allowing only a minimal gain. These are big bodies on the D-line. They eat up blocks, allow the linebackers to run free and make stops.
Reed. With the catch, it's Riley.
Well, this tight end's really good at finding soft spots and zones. It's not just working over the middle of the field either, but also on the perimeter of the field. And that time, as soon as he releases off the ball, he knows there's no one following me, running with me. This must be zone coverage. Where can I post up and make this easy for my quarterback? He finds that spot. It's a nice gain by the offense.
Keeps it moving. It's Edwards. Knocked down in the backfield, and boy, this guy's had a good day, but they finally get to him on that run.
That's how you come up and make plays as a defense, man. Playing physical, playing downhill. They give up some plays today, man. He's got over 100 yards on the day. He's really had some success. But on that play, really downhill, really physical, and a nice job getting him to the ground.
He's going to take off. Took care of it himself. Slides to the ground. He got away and picked up the first down on a 2nd and long.
And he's just proving it time and time again, man. He has that feel. He obviously has the ability to pick up and put him down and go get first downs. But I think the timing of when to scramble and when not to scramble, he's really got that figured out. And you can tell it's going to be a big part of the game.
Got 8 on first down. Now looking at a 2nd and 2. Here's Reed to throw. Tight end finds a soft spot. They bring him down, but he's got a 1st and goal from the 10. The Aggies come to the line with a new set of downs. They'll run it in the red zone. It's Owens. And he's loose, and he'll take it to the house. Touchdown, Aggie!
And, man, I don't know what they talked about at the half, man, but this team is rolling, doing an unbelievable job getting the football, putting it in the end zone again. And how about the defense doing their job, Palmer? Momentum is crazy in college football. But here in the second half, they've come out and seized it.
Yeah, this has been a masterclass in complementary football. Offense doing their job, the defense getting off the field, giving it back to the offense, everything going their way. And you're right. In college football, we see momentum shifts all the time. All of the momentum, all of the good juju right now, clearly on their side.
Just an outstanding return there and really sets up his offense nicely. The Mustangs offense is ready to go on the attack. Now they'll try to answer that score with one of their own and regain the lead here in the 3rd. Leaves it with the back. And he stopped right there, no gain on the play.
Man, not much wiggle room for the ball carrier there.
I'm not really sure what they can do to try to create some space.
I know. Block better. How about the offensive lineman push some guy backwards and make some holes?
Got stuffed on first down. It's 2nd and 10. strong pass rush gets to the quarterback, and they get him at the 46.
That's the problem when you go empty, right? As a quarterback, you know you might get blitzed, and if you do, you better know where your hot throw is. If you don't, you're getting sacked. That time the linebacker got to him.
On 3rd and long, no secret what he needs here. And they can't hook up on the big play, and that brings up a 4th down.
Well, in the first half, this offense was up and down the field. It seemed like everything they were dialing up was working. And here we are in the 3rd quarter, and there's a very rare incompletion on their own end of the field. Maybe that's the play the defense needs now to spark some momentum.
Wait just a second. They're leaving the offense on the field. They're going to go for it in this situation. He's going to change things up against this defensive look. Snaps on 4th down. And he will go down. Couldn't get rid of it in time, and the defense gets a sack on 4th down.
Yeah, and see, I have no problem being aggressive near midfield. I got no problem whatsoever. You get stuffed, but I think you have to show your team, like, we're going to be aggressive. We're going to continue to try to make it, even in the second half when things are getting tight.
They make the stop right at the 30-yard line, but it's a 10-yard pickup and a 1st down.
Man, who says you can't run up the middle anymore, right? Everybody thinks I got to make big plays. I got to go way out to the left, way out to the right, way out in space. Nope, right down the middle. Nice blocking. How about the running back? You could tell the speed, the wheels, does a great job getting down the field, making a huge rushing play.
They'll try to overcome that last play on 2nd and 15. Reed. A shot toward the end zone. And they wanted it all on that incomplete pass. Instead, they're looking at 3rd down.
Nice job by the defense there, taking all throws away from the quarterback. He had nowhere to put that football in the field to play, so that ball obviously had to go out of bounds.
Here on 3rd down for this offense. Sets his feet. It's Reed. Unloads to the wideout. Can't make the grab, in this offense, which has been brilliant this season on 3rd down, doesn't convert this time. And if the kicker can put one through, this will be a successful drive. Thought he had it and couldn't get it through the uprights. He missed it. And here in the 3rd quarter, it is still a tie ball game.
Oh, man, the dreaded doink when you knock it off the crossbar. Those are ones where, man, just a couple inches to the other side, towards the middle, and that thing's in, but it still counts as a miss and a missed opportunity.
He's changing the play. They'll run it behind the big guys on the left. He's past the sticks. Speeding down the left side. A massive pickup on that one, and they're in business at the 21.
This guy strikes fears into the hearts of every defensive coordinator, David, with that speed. If you give this guy any open grass, man, he's gone.
It's just silly. Look at the angles, people trying to catch him, but he's got so much juice. He can outrun those angles and make enormous plays.
The defense wins that one, and the offensive line was challenged by their coaching staff coming into this game to try and get push up front and establish the line of scrimmage. They're going to have to do a better job running than that if they're going to win this one.
After the 3-yard pickup, they come to the line, 2nd and 7. Kept the last one on the ground, now they'll throw. Here comes the rush, and they've got him wrapped up at the 28.
You can just see the excitement this defense has every play. They're almost wishing this quarterback drops back to throw because they know they're going to get home to him. That's the 6th time they've registered a sack.
A little less room to work with now as the ball's at the 28, and it's 3rd and long. Back to pass, it's Jennings. He's got it. They get him stopped at the 5-yard line, but it will be 1st and goal from there. As they get set to snap it, just about to reach the end of the quarter. He'll take it himself. Defense coming through and knocking him down for a loss, and that'll be the end of the third period. Midway point in the season, and games like this one can have a big impact on the rankings from week to week as we see upsets happen and favorites continuing to flex muscle. They'd love to start this quarter off with a touchdown right here. Second down, gonna throw it. Somehow got the screen into that traffic. Touchdown, Mustangs! And they grab the advantage, taking the lead here in the fourth. Ready to try the point after. The extra point is good, and now in the fourth, they're up by a touchdown and an extra point. So that scoring drive took only 6 plays. And they finish things off with an 8-yard toss for the score. He'll bring it back from inside his 5. Nice job by the kickoff team. Everybody stayed in their lanes, and they'll stop him at the 16. Here comes the Aggies offense out to start this drive. And now this offense needs a late fourth quarter drive to answer that last touchdown. Slams into the pile. He'll get 1 to the 17.
Man, a nice second effort by the back to break a tackle. But how about those defensive backs willing to come up, stick their face in the fan, and make a tackle?
Those are the best run defenses, too, right? It's not just D linemen and linebackers getting all the plays, but it's DBs that are willing to not just cover, but tackle backs in the open field.
Got it in the middle. It's Horton. He's really close to that first down marker, but they stop him just a bit short. Boy, could they use a conversion on 3rd and short from their own 24. Trying to slip through and pick it up. They get him on the ground, but that'll be enough to give Texas A&M a first down.
Well, I think this running back has proved in this game here tonight that he can be counted on and relied on, right? In a big moment right here, late in the game when they need to run the ball to ice this thing, he's able to deliver.
Texas A&M back to work with another first down. On the move, it's Owens. Knocked down after getting 6 all the way out to the 34-yard line.
And winning first downs is a priority for a defense, and you can't get bludgeoned. You can't get physically beat at the point of attack. You know the percentages. It's usually pretty good on first down that they're going to run the football. So them getting that big chunk, getting in 2nd and short, not a good job by this defense.
Keeps it himself. That, friends, is a busted play. Incomplete. It's 3rd down from their own 34 as they try to keep the drive moving. Throwing Reed. Rush right in his face. And it's a fumble on the play. They recover their own fumble. How in the world did the offense avoid that disaster? Texas A&M ready to go with another first down. They want to run it left here. And he's brought down after a short gain.
And, man, the big fellas up front, they don't get a lot of credit. They don't get talked about a lot unless it's negative, but they're the big component, man. They've got to get some push, to get some running lanes, get this running game going. They're the ones that make it go.
Looking downfield, it's Reed. Gliding to the right, still trying to make a play. And he avoids the sack.
We're talking to the coaching staff coming into tonight. They thought they had to have success throwing the football if they were going to win this game. And one of the biggest reasons why I'd say they're losing right now is because this guy still hasn't thrown a touchdown pass. The defense has been ready for the deep shots. They're ready yet again here late in the game. Nice job forcing that incompletion.
Turns it upfield. That's not quite going to be enough as they stop him 4 yards short of the marker. trailing by a possession. They need to keep the ball. They'll try to convert on 4th down. Reed to throw for it on 4th. Makes a grab past the marker. He's out of bounds, but not before picking up enough for the 1st down.
Listen, it's go time. We're trailing. It's the 4th quarter. We got to get a little bit more aggressive. I like the call. I like going for it, and especially because we made the completion and got the 1st down.
Looking for space. It's Owens. He is snowed under, nowhere to go, and it'll be 2nd and long. The long drive continues as the offense keeps working the ball down the field. Reed. He's going to run it. Remember, down where you start the slide, he'll be short the line to gain.
Hey, listen, it's important at that position to be able to be good off schedule. Everything's easy when it's on time. You get the ball out. But when things break down, they get off schedule. You've got to have a guy back there that can make the right decisions. He did exactly that.
They get him on the ground, but it'll be enough to pick up the 1st down.
And that's so tough as a defense because they only got to get inches. But I got to find a way to somehow get a knockback, stop the running back's feet right there. I couldn't do it. He gets downhill just enough, and he gets the 1st down.
It's a good job, too, there on 3rd down by the offense because a major statistic in football in terms of winning and losing is how good are you at staying on the field, keeping drives alive. Whether it's 3rd and long or 3rd and inches, you just have to go execute, and they do it. I love the play call running the football here in the 4th quarter because with the score what it is right now, everything is at your disposal on offense. You are not panicking. This isn't throw every single down, all of a sudden 2-minute air raid type stuff. You can run the ball. You can do all of your stuff, personnel, shifting, motioning. Just got to be very, very careful and absolutely cannot turn it over.
And the Aggies with a 2nd and short to keep this drive moving. They want to run this quarterback. He's stopped at the 14-yard line, and they'll stay on the attack from there.
You know, I really like this QB running the football because I know he's got a lot of speed, but he's not the biggest guy in the world, so he's not going to be able to break a lot of tackles. You really got to do a good job of trying to scheme ways to get him out in more space.
He's got enough. It'll be a 1st down. They've got it at the 12.
And I think this is starting to get really frustrating for this defense, man. This is a drive that they're putting play after play together. And you finally force the 3rd down, and they get the 1st down again. And so starting to sub some bodies because they're getting a little bit tired. They've got to find a way to get a 3rd down stop.
The Mustangs call a timeout. It'll be their 1st. And they'll still have 2 timeouts left for the rest of this game. Operating in the red zone here on 2nd down. Here's Reed to throw. And he bounces over the top. Big point after here, looking for the tie late. And no problem on that extra point, and we have a tie ball game here in the 4th.
Offense will take that. Free 5 yards every time. Bad discipline by the defense.
And they are a mere extra point away from tying this game. And the extra point was good, and we are all tied up in the 4th. Well, that was about as lengthy a drive as you're ever going to see. And what a huge score and extra point there to get it tied in the final minute. He'll bring it out. It's Hale. I know he thinks he can house every return, but sometimes you just have to take a knee as he stopped at the 14. Biggest drive of the game coming up right now as this team tries to win it in regulation. They'll try it over the left side. Stopped at the 24-yard line after the 10-yard gain. Now they've got to hustle to the line and get set.
And you got to bang a timeout right here. You've got 2 left. After running the football, save as many seconds as you can to give yourself an opportunity to come back and win this game.
And the Mustangs want to move quickly.
Thinking about using a timeout right here after that run play. And listen, I get your...
And he can't get it off. Taken down. What a huge play this late in the game. SMU spends his second timeout here. And they'll still have 1 timeout left at their disposal. The Mustangs trying to find their way forward after the big loss on the last play. Making the adjustment.
Prove it. Here go Luther.
Just going to keep it after the snap. Oh, did you like that stiff arm? Get a face full of that as he gets it up to the 34. Timeout called by the defense, 27 seconds to go.
And it's not sexy, and it's not these long plays all the time. But this QB does such a good job of picking up 4 to 5 and making it where you're always ahead of the sticks and just letting you know, we're running. We'll take advantage of this guy's speed, and we're going to make you defend him throughout this football game.
Well, you know the defense felt freaked out on that one. You're in the 4th quarter, and you're lined up against one of the fastest players in all of college football. They're taking a shot up top. You just hold on tight and hope for the best. And that time, they were able to force an incompletion.
First snap of this drive will come from their own 32. Reed. Look out. Can't find his man as he took a shot trying to deliver that football, and it'll be 2nd down.
Well, I know it hasn't been a tremendous day statistically for this quarterback, but his decision-making has been good enough to win this game. Hasn't thrown a lot of TDs so far, but when things aren't open, he throws it away like on that play right there. He's not putting his team in a bad spot, and that's why they still have a shot to walk out of here with a W.
Long way to go on 2nd down. Looking to throw, it's Reed. Fires on the move. Oh, and it's picked off. This could be huge in a tie game. The defense was looking for a huge play in this tie game, and they have just given their team a great opportunity.
I think, Reese, at this point of the game, tied late, it's going to come down to who can make the most plays. The defense comes up with a massive play, creating that turnover. Outstanding job by the D. All 11 guys being on the same page, now putting their offense in great position.
They get the timeout, and the clock reads 3 seconds. Didn't get much on 1st down. It's 2nd and 9. A quarterback sneak on 2nd down. The only thing I can think of is he thought he'd catch them napping. All right, guys, so here we go in overtime. And just to refresh everyone's memory, alternating possession starting on the opponent's 25.
And you want to play defense first because you want to know what you need. That's a key philosophical approach for most teams when it comes to overtime, David.
Yeah, and remember the rule change a couple years ago, too, and the 2nd overtime and 2-point conversion. So all this stuff is situational type football that you better have worked on throughout these weeks of the season.
They've got it 1st and 10 from the 25. The give. Got it into the red zone, dragged down at the 18-yard line. And the Mustangs want to crank the tempo. Just feeds the running back. Stopped at the 13-yard line as they try to turn this into points.
Man, you play this whole game back and forth into overtime. Now you got a chance to set the tone, run the football in overtime, and be a little physical.
And if you can run the ball and not put it in jeopardy by throwing passes, that's a great way to finish the deal.
Splash moving.
And the Heat will get home, and the quarterback goes down at the 17. They'll need a bunch on second down. Tight end in motion, see how the D reacts. Using his feet. He's dragged down at the 12 as they try to cash in on this red zone opportunity.
And that quarterback can go. Just another guy in another system all across college football. All quarterbacks nowadays, they got so much speed, it's ridiculous.
Man, I'm telling you, that has to be exhausting for the defensive lineman trying to chase down guys like that.
It's silly because even when it's a design play and it's a design run like here, fine. But then it's scramble plays and then it's passing plays. He's always a runner. Just exhausting.
Can't make the grab as he was looking for his man right at the goal line.
After that incompletion, because you're down in the red zone setting up 4th and long, you'd imagine they would jog the field goal unit out here, but we've seen offenses stay aggressive. If they believe in their playmakers and they want to score touchdowns, you might see this offense go for it.
It's good. He hit that one right down the middle. And guys, after the field goal, now they have the lead.
And you want a touchdown and you want to be aggressive, but man, right down the middle, that obviously gives me some confidence down the road that I can trust this guy.
Down by 3, it's their turn here in overtime. A touchdown will win it. Here's first down. Throwing Reed. Grabs it in the middle. Now the connection takes it to the 11.
I don't know who on defense is going to cover this guy. Honestly, he could be a problem for this defense over the middle of the field in the passing game.
Texas A&M trying to gig him in the red zone. Tough run here. It's Owens. He'll be hauled down just inside the 10 at the 9 as they're trying to turn this into a score.
And I think offense is showing they are willing to run the football even if they don't get big gains. Just those body blows that can sometimes wear out a defense and keep the balance on offense so I can be explosive.
Looking for a man. It's Reed. He's in! A game-winning touchdown in overtime.
And it's so underrated. The relationship between a QB and a wide receiver, the timing, the ability to know where he's going to be and be accurate with the football, that's what leads to nice touchdowns, Jesse.
Well, and the chemistry between these two guys has to be great when you're throwing into the end zone because coverage is going to be tight. The throw might not be perfect, but this is something these two guys have been repping in practice over and over and over, and it's paying dividends now on games.